Hey YouTube, I got a table saw. And oh look, y'all, the cat decided to be on that side of the camera today. See her up there playing with it? Handsome little rascal. Well, cute little devil. Okay, my half brother and his half brother. That's a long story, YouTube, that I'm not gonna really I don't really care to discuss, but anyway, they've gotten into buying liquidation pallets, and they got into it pretty big time. Whoa, cat, you can't fall off. You know what, you're just gonna have to get down. You gotta knock that off. I don't want you falling. Say bye, YouTube. Alright, here you go. Here. Alright, go play somewhere. They've got into buying liquidation pallets. And I mean, they're buying quite a bit of it and reselling it. All this stuff is store returns, and you know, whatever may have gotten parts missing or whatnot out of at the store. Anyway, this particular Craftsman table saw they got, and they noticed that there was sawdust in the box. Someone bought it, used it for what they needed, and returned it to the store. And the box had been opened and everything is just thrown back in the box. They were concerned about parts being missing out of it. So they plugged it in and saw that the saw worked and everything, and all this stuff was good. So, but they didn't. All this base down here that it stands on, they didn't want to take the time to try to figure out how it all was supposed to go together, because I don't think it had a manual in it to show you how to do that. And they didn't know if screws were missing or not. So my brother told me, like, look, you've been wanting a table saw. I got one over there. I know it works and I know everything's good on it, but the stand might have a screw or two missing. You can get it for $100. He's like, come over after work today and you can look at it and see if you want it. I went over there and I looked at it and I was like, all right, you know what? If it's gonna have any screws missing, it's gonna be some small thing that's probably gonna cost me $2 to replace. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get it. I got it for $100. I got it home and I assembled it. And by the way, without instructions, I actually had to watch a YouTube video to figure out how those legs were supposed to go together. It turns out all that was missing was 2 wing nuts that aren't, well, I guess they kind of are necessary, but they ain't. But I noticed another thing. The blade set on 0 isn't exactly 0 degrees. You know, let me bring y'all in there. Well, I've got it kind of adjusted. I guess it's going to be the best way to show y'all. We know this ought to be 90 degrees, right? See, I set it by eye. Well, that plastic's too flexible for that. Right like this. I can see that the blade is touching the back of this square, this part of this square at the top, but it's off at the bottom, probably a 1/16 of an inch. I don't know what that would come to and turn out to be in degrees, but we know the blade is off, so let's go ahead and try to, that's the only thing that I've noticed with it. Now, by the way, if any of y'all are looking to buy tools and try to get them fairly cheap, liquidation pallet sales may be the way to go. For you. If you're willing for it to maybe have a screw missing or a slight dent or ding or something. My brother and his half brother, if any of y'all are familiar with Georgia, more specifically Eastman, Georgia, and the old Dodge cabinet shop. It's actually in the old Dodge. The cabinet shop is out of business, and it's actually housed in the old Eastman Dodge Elementary or something like that. I don't know. I've never knew what the school was actually called. But you know, when they're having the sale, they've got a big old bright sign out by the road. So if any of y'all are familiar with Eastman or going to be going through that way, y'all go check them out. You know, tell them I sent you. They'll double. I mean, they'll double the price. No, they'll give you a good deal. Yeah, that's it. All right, YouTube, let's cut the crap and get this thing adjusted up right. Okay, I'm gonna move the camera in a wee bit closer so y'all can see what we're doing. All right, we're back, YouTube. If the video gets shaky for some reason, it's because the cat's down there gnawing on y'all's legs. Okay, for as far as adjusting the angle of that blade, we've got a stop here that we can, well, I'm sorry that got really loud, YouTube. My face is like 2 inches from the camera. We've got a stop here that we can adjust, as well as right over here, the little gauge to show you where your degrees, what degree you're setting the saw. It has an adjustment on it. So first of all, I think we need to get our saw blade adjusted to 90 degrees. Now, YouTube, I have to admit, I have never owned a table saw before, so I have no idea what I'm doing. You know, the adjustment's just going to be, you know, loosening it up and moving the blade so like this, you know. So, I mean, I'm just going to pause the camera. Little Wilhelmina, I swear, if you try to claw my fingers one more time, well, I guess I'll just continue loving you, you handsome little rascal, you. Cat's over here behind the camera trying to claw my fingers off. But I'm gonna stop the camera while we adjust that and get it right, because you wouldn't, with my body in the way, you wouldn't be able to see. But I mean, it's super simple to do, so hang on, YouTube. Well, YouTube, that adjustment there, wow, that took little Wilhelmina, why are you playing with YouTube's legs again? You're gonna scratch them all up and then they're gonna quit watching us. But those adjustments, wow, that took like 3 minutes, and honestly took me longer to gather up the tools to do the adjustment with than it did to do the actual adjustment. Alright, I've got one other thing that I want to show y'all that I got from their sale, YouTube, and then I'll let y'all go. Alright, YouTube, the other thing that we got from their sale was a Craig Ripcut. This is a device that goes on your, attaches to your skill saw. This I actually got the instructions for. It kind of goes together like this piece is the edge guide, and this is what holds your saw, and then this is your edge guide. This is the plate that your saw sits on, and this thing is adjustable to, you know, to whatever length cut you need to make. That kind of locks it in place for you. Seems to be a good device. The plastic feels flimsy, but you know, I think in this particular instance, flimsy plastic really isn't going to be an issue. I don't really have any plywood that I need to cut now, so you know, demonstrating the table saw or even the Craig Ripcut there is not really feasible for me today. these things that they get out of liquidation pallets. Sometimes they're returned with the faulty merchandise slips still attached to them. This one actually has two of them, and it says, I'm thinking this was probably, the store probably just took this off the shelf, because the problem listed here is with this, the Craig Ripcut, it says missing packaging. So, you know, okay. I mean, anyway, that's just one of the things that keeps stuff in a retail store from being sold. Things like packages missing parts of the package missing, or you know, something being broken, or parts missing, you know. So, all right, YouTube, I'm rambling, so I'm gonna let y'all see me put the blade guard and all back on this. Yeah, and without instructions, I had to watch a YouTube video to figure out how to get the kickback things on it, which I might have that wrong. Well, anyway, these things, I had to watch a YouTube video to figure it all out. Alright, let me set this out of the way, and then I'll put that back on there, and then we'll call this a video. Hopefully it won't take me as long to put it back on there as it did to actually figure it out that night. My brother also sells uniform shirts and stuff on eBay, and I think he's actually listing some of this liquidation pallet items on his eBay site, which I'm not entirely sure if he is or not, but he's selling these uniform shirts that he's selling. I got mine from the actual lady that he buys from, and I got them for 25 cents actually. But if y'all want to check him out on eBay there is the name of his eBay store is Ron's Uniforms. Yeah, so go on and check him out there. Alright, let's get this put back on here, and I kind of got to hurry everything up, because this new weather forecast is calling for rain all weekend and all next week. And so there may or may not be a video next week. Oh, it helps if I start trying to actually attempt to put it on the correct way. Alright, there we go. Although that stuff seems a bit flimsy. Not sure if I'm a fan of that or not. It is what it is. So there we go, YouTube. I thank y'all for watching. I would appreciate it if y'all would like, subscribe, and comment. Have a good day, YouTube.